Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
So yeah, I'm hoping we don't get rained out tonight. First game of the season.
Yeah, that'd be a crappy way to start it out.
It would, but it'll be nice and rainy and wet.
Remind
Under the lights that we don't have. At this field.
Remind you of home. I was thinking the other day, I was trying to figure out how long it's been since I've known you. And I think we're coming up on 17 years.
I think there's a story behind when you came and joined our neighbourhood. I think I threatened to burn your house down if you put that Man United flag up.
Yeah, I think I mentioned something about painting the garage door those colours. I think that's how that may have.
I think I meant my
kicked that off.
I think I meant my threats as well. Well, how long have you been living here?
Well,
I've been here 20.
I was trying to think of how old Ali is, and Ali's 16. So it was the summer before she was born, so this would be
17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because all our neighbours pretty much, there was a big change. Like we've been here 20 years, and now we're the longest lasting neighbour, I guess. And then there was a big changeover, big turnover of neighbours, all for the good.
at least you're just telling everybody that since.
But I've known your family
years.
longer than I've known you. I've known Chris for 35 years since I came here and started playing football. I've known Chris since when Chris had hair.
That was a bit ago.
That was a while ago.
I'm sure if he was here, he'd say the same thing as The Rock does. It's by choice.
Well, yeah. It's by choice that you're bald.
So, do you miss the UK at all?
Pieces of it. I don't miss the standard of living. I'll always miss it. It's always quote unquote home. You know I can't do that.
Why not?
I'm playing tonight.
Oh, it's just
I'm an athlete. No. That's it. That's a turn up for the books. Me refusing a beer.
Yeah, that's. I don't think anyone's actually going to believe that.
No. I'm an athlete. I'm a martyr to my sport.
Now you're starting to sound like.
At the ripe
Powers.
old age of 56.
I was waiting for you to pull out the Powers line.
Stronger every day.
Nope. My body's a temple.
Well, that's what he thinks.
Yeah.
I bet his body's not a temple right now as he's getting through his first beer in 5 months in Ethiopia.
Yeah, it's one spot to start drinking again.
Yeah, start drinking in Ethiopia.
So, do you have any like back in the UK? You've got family back there. You have a sister, brother, both parents.
Yeah, they're all back there. So all the three are here. I came to get married here in 1989. And
18.
not
That was a
18,
long
not
time
1889, 1989. But I mean, last century.
Yeah.
Yeah, left all my family at home. It was tough. Even though you move into an English-speaking country, it's still, culture's different. Things are different. Like it was a different country than what Canada is now, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't such a melting pot. Well, there was already a lot of expats, right? British people over here when I came. But again, the country's morphed even then in the last 35 years to a lot more cultural. But I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. What I like it when different cultures merge. I don't like this.
So I guess needless to say, there's definitely a lot more people here than there used to be.
Seems to be. Yeah, it seems, even when I came, it seemed like a new country, right? My in-laws had already been here since 75 when they all emigrated. There was a mass immigration of Sharon's family.
They got kicked out of England.
They were run out, pitchforks and torches. No, they chose to come here. Like I guess at the time, like financially in England, it wasn't a great place to be in the the early 70s. I'm too young to kind of remember that. But Sharon was a kid when she moved over here. She was 7.
Wow.
So I think it was tough. She had to assimilate, I guess, spoke differently. Into a small town in Stratford. She always says it was quite difficult to just kind of assimilate.
You've got a great story about you and your wife, about how you met and how you became what you are now.
Yeah.
You want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, we're bottom. There's a long version of this that you tell the ladies, and then the short version that you tell the guys. I'll give you something in between. So we were pen pals for years. I started writing in 1984. After I'd seen a photograph that my aunt, my aunt and Sharon's mom used to work together in England before they emigrated. So they'd kept in touch over the years, and then we'd met when we were really, really young, when they first came back to England for a visit. And then in 84, I saw a photograph, and I'm 16, the hormones are raging, and I decided I'd like to write to her. So we started, and again, no computers back then. Nobody had phones that you can message anywhere in the world. We didn't have laptops, computers even, right? So it was just good old, pen and paper. Started writing, and it just took off.
Is that because the telephone hadn't been invented yet?
At the time, the phone was an expensive option. Like there were times of day that you could call that was cheaper. So I'd be allowed. It was like being in jail. I was allowed one call a week on a Sunday when it was cheap. So I'd be calling late at night on a Sunday, and it'd be late afternoon here in Canada. So, but yeah, it was like being in jail.
I'm assuming that's the male version that you're telling that part too, right?
Oh, I can, make it an hour long if you wanted me to. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. She came in '85 for another family trip, and things kind of took off from there. And got engaged in '88. I got my my visa, and then I was over here in '89.
So it's funny because I'm sure people that are listening are going, "Oh yeah, people do that every day."
There's people listening to this?
Probably not. But you got people that are texting people or
it's
emailing,
crazy.
messaging right across the road. But the level of commitment that you have to sitting down and writing.
Oh yeah, it's completely different, and it's not a story that you could probably emulate now, right? Who does it? Who does that? Nobody does that. I don't even write letters myself. I text with my mom, who's nearly 88. No, oh yeah, that's right. She's nearly 88, and I text with her almost every day. It's crazy to think, and we used to write letters back and forth. In fact, I had a tote full of airmail letters, and again, you go through them, and it's painstaking to go through them and say which ones do I keep, which ones don't I keep. I get just again huge number of letters, and I said to Sharon, I got to have a criteria here for getting rid of some of these letters. Like if that was an email, would I keep it? Or if it's poignant, if there's anything in it that's timely, or somebody got married, somebody died, that kind of thing, like life events, I'd keep it. But I mean, you have to kind of say no. If it was an email, I would probably delete it. So still trying to go. That's a long, slow process. But I don't want to leave that for somebody else. I have to do when I'm gone.
I'm still stuck on your mom text at 88.
Yeah.
My mom's 74 and she won't text at all.
Yeah, my mum. Yeah, she's brilliant. Really, she's got all the latest technology. She's right up to speed. Good for her.
If it was up to my mom, she'd still be watching VHS tapes because she still has all of them from when we were kids.
I've still got VHS tapes.
Yeah? You still have something to play them on?
Yep. I've got a VHS player that was actually one of my first purchases when I came to Canada. I remember at the time we bought this. I don't know why. I don't know how. We didn't have the money for this, but we bought an $800 VHS player. It was a Sony stereo, top of the range, from what was the name of the place? It's gone now. The Claude Electric it was. And it was the most expensive thing I'd ever bought. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But at the time, that was the technology. Now you can buy one for $50.
Yeah. Man, it's got 10 times the quality. Well, it's just like everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at the TVs. Like, I remember my first TV I bought was a 36-inch Toshiba tube.
You were lucky. 36?
Yeah.
Ours was a 19.
But it was like...
It was a cube.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this was. It was so awkward to pick up, and the bottom was plastic, and it almost felt like it was cutting your hands. Yeah. And it was $1,500 plus tax. Oh, yeah. You can get a 58-inch or 60-inch for
$500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, Villa's doing all right this year, I guess.
All right. Champions League, baby. Champions League. First time since I left the country, well, first time since 1982. So I used to go. I was a season ticket holder back when we first qualified for the European Cup, and didn't go to the final that we won in 1982. But my mate did. He was 14 and he told his mum, I'm going to Holland. Remember, we were 14. He says, I'm going to Holland on a bus full of drunken, adult men. And his mum said, well, no, you're not. He says, well, I've already paid, so I'm going. And I guess things were different then. Would I let a 14-year-old go on a bus to a different country right now? Probably not. But yeah, so...
I don't know. I think you would.
Would you? No, you wouldn't.
This is going to sound sexist, but a 14-year-old boy, yes. 14-year-old.
14? Nah.
Yeah, I mean, think of it this way.
On a bus full of beer swilling old men? I doubt it.
Yeah, well, do you trust them?
I don't know who they are.
Oh, okay, yeah, that does make a bit of a difference.
It's not like you're going with a companion. It's like, no, I'm going with a coach load of, probably 20, 30 coaches full of, older men that you don't know. But hey, he did it. Power to him. So he was in Rotterdam when we won it in '82, and it's like the good times are back now. It's great after years of pain and suffering. Although you've always still got that, it's all going to fall through eventually. That miserable outlook. Well, this is too good to be true. The bottom's going to fall out of this. So we're never going to do anything. But yeah. But
I feel like that's every team, every sport. Doesn't matter how long your dynasty is. Eventually, that bottom's going to fall through.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, some of these newer teams, the big money teams like Man City, kids follow them because they're winners. They're perennial winners. It's easy to support a team like that, right?
Speaking of City, why have they not been penalised?
I don't know what's holding it up. I don't know. But Forest and Everton have both been penalised for their infractions, and I think they had 2 infractions. I think City got 115. But I don't know. I don't know what. There's so much politics in sports.
You can pick any sport you want, which I'm assuming is still going to be football, European football, not North American football, obviously. If you could have a pint with any player, present or even someone that's passed away over the last 50 years, say, who would that be?
Well, it's funny because I've actually done it just by pure chance.
Okay, I'm going to guess it's not someone that's passed away then.
Well, he might have done since. No, he's alive. He's very much alive now. But the guy who scored the winning goal in the '82 Cup final, Peter With. So he was Villa's centre forward, and it was just bizarre the way it happened. So I was playing soccer with a bunch of guys in Kitchener, and one of the lads was from Liverpool, and his cousin was coming over, and his cousin is married to Peter With, who scored the goal for Villa. So he said, "Do you want to meet him?" And I'm like, you never want to meet your heroes. Right. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to, absolutely. So we had we met and we had a pint in the I think it was the Duke in Waterloo, and they say you should never meet your heroes, but he was fantastic. He was so humble and down to earth, and he's been all over the world playing and coaching. He coached in Thailand for years and in South Africa, and just a really humble guy. And he was humbled by the fact that I was kind of adoring him, and it's like he bought me a pint, I bought him a pint. It was just, I don't know, it was great, and I don't think I'd want it again with anybody else. Yeah, because that was kind of, for me, he was just an icon of the times. And nowadays, yeah. Like these guys are like billionaire racehorses. There's a lot more character in the older players. But I think I can say I've already done that. I've checked that one off my bucket list.
What about what was Southgate like when you met him?
Yeah, so that's when he was playing for Villa, and I had Ryan and Mitchell. Mitchell was in a stroller, so that's how it's been 25 years since I met him when he was the captain of Villa. So we went to the training centre and met him. Great bloke. He's what it says on the tin. Very genuine, down to it. Smart guy as well. He wrote a newspaper article. He may still do it. But I taught him everything he knows. That's why England are doing so well.
Well, since you know him, maybe he can get you a spot on the three lines. And
I think he might be done now. I think this is the end of his tenure. If he doesn't win the Euros, I think that's it for him. Speaking of which, I have a plug, a shameless plug. I just spent all morning working on my Euro pool, which is something I've been doing for I don't know how long, at least 20 years. I do it for to raise money for the Children's Health Foundation in London, who've basically they're behind the scenes operation for the not the University Hospital but the Victoria Hospital in London. So they do a lot of stuff with kids. They're a fantastic charity, and I kind of started doing this after we lost our son in 2000, and Ryan, our oldest, was also used the system, and he was in Victoria Hospital for a couple of weeks. So fantastic charity. So I try and do this, and I have some fun with it. Like I think last for the World Cup we raised over $3,000, and some prize money in it as well. So yeah, I have a lot of fun doing it. It's a lot of hard work, but it's great, especially with foreign competitions where you're talking about multinational. So I get to have a jab at the Italians and the Dutch and the Germans, and basically ridicule everybody that's not English, and get away with it. So yeah, I have to. And again, in these politically correct times, it's nice just to say, don't be a Karen, don't be a Ken. I'm going to bash you. If you're not English, you're going to get bashed. So it's fun, and that starts on June the 14th, which is just around the corner.
I have noticed that the bashing usually ends right after England goes out.
Yeah, the bashing stops. Well, actually, no, the bashing probably gets worse because the Italians stole it from us last time. And if you can remember that event when we were sitting in Garage 17, not Garage 33, and yeah, that wasn't fun with watching penalties and watching the Italians steal it from us at Wembley.
Who do you think is going to win it this year? Like, who are your top favorites?
I think France. I think France are going to win. I think the Dutch are starting to gather some momentum.
They've had nothing for the last decade and a
No.
bit. They were so strong. Them and Spain, they were like the top two for a good little run there, and then they both kind of fell off.
You can never rule Spain out either, but I think France are just too strong. Again, they knocked England out of the World Cup. Strong team. I think if ever we were going to win the World Cup, it was that year. But the French were too good. I think some dark horses. It's interesting to see countries like Georgia. It's the first time they've ever made a major competition. That's interesting. I think the Hungarians may be a bit of a dark horse, and possibly the Turks. Turkish. Q movie line.
Turkish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Segue into what's his face? What's his name?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how about his TV show?
What TV? Oh, The Gentleman.
Yeah.
I loved it up to episode 4. And for those who haven't seen it, it's a great show. The whole thing is as a body of work. I think it's great, and I think you said there's going to be another one.
Oh, there has to be. Like the way how they left it open at the end. That's.
Don't spoil it. No spoilers.
I liked it all the way to the end.
It got a bit dry in the middle, but
That's English.
yeah, it finished great. But I loved it. I love all of his films, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and the second one whose name I can never remember. Snatch. Love that film.
Yeah, Snatch is my favorite one of his.
Yeah, they're great films.
It was
And he did Layer Cake. I think he did Layer Cake as well with a young Daniel Craig.
I remember the movie. I didn't realize that was his. But yeah.
Believe so. I wouldn't put any money on it.
I will do some fact checking later.
Yeah, fact check later, but leave it in. Yeah, so looking forward to the Euros.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long stretch of hype, and then all of a sudden a steep drop of disappointment.
Oh, as long as it's the final, you get the disappointment in, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So, do you think Kane's absence from the English Premier League is going to help him, or do you think that's going to hinder him?
He's done really well in Germany. I think it'll help him because the tournament's in Germany, right? He's probably going to have that fan base of, when the Germans go out, inevitably, they can latch on to Harry Kane being a Bayern Munich player. Maybe we'll get those undecided.
Yeah, maybe. I just worry that it's for me all these other leagues like the French, the Spanish, the the Germans, there's usually only maybe 3 good teams, and the rest of them really, really struggle. It's the same 3 at the top, whereas
It's the same in England, really, if you think.
I think there's at least the top half is usually this. That top half is usually always there.
Well, they haven't performed in Europe this year, though, right? So we haven't had a team the only team that made a semi was Villa in the third tier of European competition. But I mean, there's no English team in any of the finals, so that tells you a lot. The German league's done really well. Spanish league.
So the Germans are getting the extra spot in.
Germans will get the extra Champions League spot, but who cares anymore? Because the Villa made it, so really don't care if Spurs made it or not. But yeah, I think it's good. It's good to see English players playing abroad. Like I love seeing Bellingham play in Spain. Like he can he could stay in England, but I mean he's gone out to Spain, and Madrid is a beautiful city. So living there as a multimillionaire superstar footballer, he's probably living his best life.
I could probably get that anywhere.
Yeah, but it's Madrid. It's sunny. You don't get that if you go and play in London.
Well, Messi just went to California, so it's almost the same thing there.
California. Where'd he go?
Or sorry.
Oh, Miami.
Florida.
Miami. Yeah.
Same thing. Just you get a little bit
Big
more
signing with Giroud going to LA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked Olivier Giroud. I went to him at Villa, and he's gone to play for Galaxy, I think, one of the 2 LA teams.
That'd be interesting for how much more that elevates the MLS, because Messi just going there obviously elevated it quite a bit. So I think you're going to see more and more of the top names, maybe earlier than later than.
You think Messi's elevated it more than Beckham did?
Oh no, not at all.
Exactly. I
Beckham.
Beckham really made it into something that people sat up and watched.
Oh,
you know, and like ticket prices. But I mean, Bessie, yeah, okay. I don't know. You've asked me to go and see him. I'm like, eh.
Yeah. So the only thing that I can say about Messi is, did he not go to the MLS at a younger age than Beckham did?
He may have done. He may have done. But I mean, he's won everything. There's nothing else for him to do, really. Can you imagine in our line of work just having a job where they say, we'll pay a shed load of money. All you have to do is coast. We just want you here. Like, maybe they say to you, Ian, come and work at Lexus. You can just sit there and coast, put your feet on. We just want you to be part of the Lexus outfit. Forget Toyota. This is like your pension money. Just come and coast for a couple of years at Lexus.
Just walk around the front of the building.
Is that where you make them? Don't tell anybody. Make it sound like it's a different factory.
Right. Of course.
The posher factory in a nicer place than Woodstock.
Well, it's just saying.
I mean, what's nicer than Woodstock, really?
Have you ever seen that? Speaking of car companies, that one in is it downtown Hamburg for Volkswagen? It's like a big cylinder that goes up, sticking up in the.
You mean Hamburg, Germany, or New Hamburg, Ontario?
Hamburg, Germany. Yeah. So like they've got, you can go and actually build.
That's Wolfsburg.
Is it Wolfsburg where it is?
For VW?
Yeah, wherever this.
Yeah, it's Wolfsburg. It's one I believe, and again you can fact check me later, but Wolfsburg is where it's like one of those factory towns. Everything's built around Volkswagen. I hope I'm right, because if I'm talking shit, then people will call me out. But I'm pretty sure Wolfsburg is the center of the universe for Volkswagen and Porsche.
That would make sense because they have like their Wolfsburg edition.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I just don't know if it's the same city that I'm thinking of, because they put it in the middle of the city, and part of the agreement was they didn't want to have all these trucks running in and out, so they put in everything that the cars need come in on the tram, and they come right into the building. They unload it there. You can't even tell that there's a manufacturer.
Things coming in on trams in Germany isn't really, or trains. I'm just watching the Tattooist of Auschwitz right now. Yeah, I think things coming in on trains, not good, not a good look.
It's probably not car parts.
No, I shouldn't laugh at that in the same sentence as that, should I? I was near there actually in December. I really wanted to go. I was in Poland for work of my own choice, and where I was is about 2 hours away from Auschwitz. So it was just close enough to get there, but not close enough to kind of have enough time to go and do it, because I didn't really have a lot of extra time. But something I'd like to do actually, and it's a good show if you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't.
It's an adaptation of a book. The book's pretty good. It was a bit different. It's a bit of a love story, but the adaptation of it in TV is actually better than the book was. It's worth it, and it's got Harvey Keitel.
Well, if it's got him, it's got to be a good movie.
It is, and you look at him and you think that's Harvey Keitel. And it's like, is it Harvey? Is it? It might be, but it is him, and he plays like an old Jewish guy telling his, actually an old Slovakian Jew telling his story of his time in Auschwitz, which is really cool. But he plays a fantastic part.
Is he just covered up in makeup, and that's why you can't tell? It's
Well,
him?
no, I don't know. It's really subtle because he looks every bit the part of the person he's playing. I don't know how much of it's makeup but it's very good. He's very good in it. But I mean, I don't know how old Harvey Keitel is now. Is he 70? Would you think, Mr. Wood?
No, I'd say at least 70.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get a Google. It'd be so easy to just search it up. But I mean, it's easy just to, shoot in the dark and be wrong.
Yeah, this is like the 80s and 90s all over again.
Yeah. Or you could get a book.
Well, back then you could just talk a lot of shit and no one can call you
But
wrong.
nobody would be listening when you talked a lot of shit then, because you couldn't go out. There was no internet then.
Yeah.
We actually, our mate and I used to, part of the whole relationship with Sharon is we'd record tapes like this. So we'd do something really similar than this actually. So this is nothing new, but we'd sit in front of one of those, press play and record kind of tape recorders and or with a microphone, and we'd record onto cassette. But there was no editing in those days, right? What you record is what you record. You'd have to stop, rewind, start again, keep re-recording it. And I've still got some of the tapes. Like, I think the initial one we sent, like in 84, 85. It's pretty cool. And music at the time. So, like, we'd talk bollocks for, 10 minutes, put a record on, talk more bollocks, and so on, repeat, rinse and repeat. But I guess that was our version of podcasting at the time, right?
Yeah.
Actually record a physical tape and send it in an envelope.
For an audience of one every time?
Yeah. Well, that's all right. At least you know your target audience, right?
No,
you know who your
100%.
target audience is, so you can aim it at your target.
So when you're singing your songs out loud, you're singing it just for her.
Just singing it for her, and she could have played it to anybody, right? And I think she did play it to some of her friends, and then she would start with her tapes, do the same thing, and get her friends, and yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
It's too bad I didn't have a sample of that right now. We could just throw it on there and
Yeah, no.
listen to it. The voices of the 80s.
Yeah, squeaky voices, right? not tarnished by years of abuse of beer and.
So, the one thing I have noticed about you, then I don't know anybody else that does this, but since we're talking about recording and stuff, vinyl records. You're the only one that I know that's still heavily into that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a thing. I was saying to Kieran because I put my hoop earring in a couple of months ago again, and Kieran calls me Pink Floyd. I'm like, is it really that dated to have a hoop earring? And then I was standing in the record shop last week in Stratford, and right next to me there's a guy, same build, same salt and pepper hair, quote unquote, or grey hair, with a hoop earring, thumbing through records. And I'm thinking, oh Christ, I am that stereotype. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I buy vinyl now. It's kind of like my guilty pleasure. Like I love it. And again, I'm not one of those who's going through looking at old. There's some of these. I was going to say pedophiles. That's not the right word, is it? What are they called? When you're into, what are they called? Audiophiles. That's it, not pedophiles.
Pedophiles, audiophiles. That's close.
Maybe they're both. But these audiophiles, and they're like thumbing through old record boxes, and like I found an original pressing from something from 1962 or whatever. I'm not like that. I've done all of that. Like when I emigrated, I came with 2 cases of records. That was pretty much my worldly possessions. I've still got the cases actually, and the original ticket on them for when I emigrated, and the luggage tag. But yeah, I just love music. Period. Or even with the kids growing up, we've never not had music on in the house. Just love it. But there's something about vinyl, and the quality of the vinyl now is so much better. Like I think it's like 180 milligrams. The weight of the vinyl, so it's heavier, thicker, more robust vinyl. Some of the flimsy shit we had in the 80s, you can just wobble it around. But I mean, the quality now, and I like my coloured vinyl, so you'll get a white or a translucent blue, and they're just so much more unique. But I mean, having said that, it's a tactile thing, right? You can open the sleeve, you pull the sleeve notes out, you read the sleeve notes, old school. Whereas now, but at the same token, it can take me 10 minutes to set all that up, sit down, get the gin and tonic going. I could have had the music on with a Bluetooth connection immediately, probably sounding better and louder. But I mean, it's just something about the experience, the actual tactile, the touch and feel of the album sleeve, and the art of the album sleeve as well.
Yeah, well, they say that the bass comes through way more of a thump to it than.
There's something different. I mean, if you've got a big rig setup, like mine's all used. It was all bought on Facebook Marketplace. I bought everything used, but it's got a good sound. Got some nice speakers, but yeah, it just feels like more of an experience. Like I can turn music on anywhere I want. I can download any song that I want to in 10 seconds. I listened to the new Billie Eilish album today. Cute kids. Yeah, I am cool. And like instantly. Whereas when back in the 80s, you had to wait till the album was released. You'd have to go and catch the bus. You go and take your bus ride down to our local town, buy the album, wait till you get back, put it on, spin it. Like it was a whole experience. It was an ordeal more than anything. But just that whole rifling through bins, looking at discount 12-inch singles, it was just a thing, right?
It's funny. I remember as a kid watching my dad pull the records out, and it's always like the record's worth more than my brother and I.
Oh yeah.
Like he's pulling it out. He pulls out and most of his seem to have a sleeve inside of the jacket. So
yeah.
Pull the whole sleeve out, then you have to pull the record out of the sleeve.
Yeah.
And it was just the edge of your fingertips because you don't want to putting it down and.
So don't you dare touch my records. Don't you dare put
It wasn't even that.
greasy little fingers on my records.
And don't move around it, because if that needle jumps and scratches.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, at least you know your place.
Yeah.
Records, then you too.
Yeah. It's comforting having a pecking order.
Yeah, at least you know where you stand.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm the same with mine because mine are all they're all in. So you got your plastic sleeve. This might get boring, but your plastic sleeve, your actual sleeve, then the inner sleeves. So they're well protected.
Yeah.
But I mean, one year we had a flood in the basement, and my record case was sitting on the concrete, and we had water in the basement, and guess what? It just absorbed up.
Oh.
So probably an inch from the ground. So all of my record sleeves were ruined. So yeah, that was a bit heartbreaking. That's like having your car scratched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you can buff that out.
Do you think the insurance company is gonna
Replace my records?
Well, to me, this is worth about $10,000 for this one record.
Yeah. No, that was heartbreaking. So now they're all in plastic sleeves and not on the concrete floor. So lessons learned.
Yeah.
Don't leave your shit on the concrete floor in a basement.
It's too bad when we were in Detroit that Third Man Records that they weren't up and running, because that would have been something to see.
I thought they were pressing at the time.
No, they were. They said that they were down. They were doing like maintenance on some of the equipment.
It is pretty impressive to watch them do it, and they show you how they make the whole plate and how they bleed the colour in. Yeah, and it's an interesting place to go, right? Remember, like Third Man.
Yeah.
She's Jack White's business, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, you guys were looking at.
Yeah, Third Man Records is Jack White.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
How do you know?
No, you guys were looking at his records, and you were asking about.
That's why they had a massive white stripe section.
I thought they were just massive fans of.
No, it's because he's his company, and they had a big Jack White section as well.
It was interesting to know that, because you guys were asking, you and Brent were asking about colored, and they said we're only given
People?
a certain amount.
Or vinyl.
Vinyl.
We were in Detroit.
So they were saying that they're given a lot, and the lot is, say, 200 black records.
Yeah.
And say a lot of 25 blue.
Yeah, they've got like
And then people just come in and snap them up.
Yeah.
And then they're not allowed to make any more.
But you remember the on the board there's like a timetable of what they're pressing, how they're pressing it, in what color, and it's like a schedule of how they're going to do the pressing, which I thought was pretty cool. Now some of these are, to me, they're anonymous names. I'm not sure who the artists are, but there wasn't many big names on that board at the time, but they've pressed some big stuff. Yeah.
Well, I know you got to get going, so I guess we should probably wrap this up. But
You're doing me already? Can I finish my sandwich?
see, pecking order.
Yeah, you first, then my sandwich.
Well, the first half of your sandwich got number 1. Then there was me. And now the second half of your sandwich.
So what's the plan for this? What's the plan for garage? I was going to ask you that. So how are you pronouncing this? Is it garage? Or is it garage? You can actually call it garage 33.
Everybody can call it whatever they want.
No. I think you got to nail. You got to have an enunciation for it. Because I think if you call it garage, it's like garage. The way Elton John sings it in one of his famous songs.
So just the way how you said it there, why is it all English people, whenever they try to do a North American accent, it always comes from somewhere down south?
Texas or Alabama?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why that is. I don't know the subtleties of the northern states. I guess we don't really get. I guess you could do in New York or Boston.
Oh, fair enough. I don't know. Like, Garage 33.
No, say garage.
33.
You don't say menage. Well, you do if it's an artois. But I mean, if you manage somebody, you don't manage them, do you?
Oh, that's a fair point.
It is a fair point.
So there you go, everybody.
Garage 33. I'm going to
33.
christen it. If I'm episode 1, it's Garage. Garidge.
Completely changing the
Well,
way I spell
if
it.
you say it like that, Garage, like Garidge.
Yeah.
Yeah, say it.
Garide?
No! Garage.
Garage.
Garage 33. You gotta have a shameless plug for, I think, the clothing line as well. Because I've been asked, it's a great little font that you've got as well. Well, Kieran's got the hat as well, I think, hasn't he? Has he got the hat and or the sweatshirt, or
I think he's just got a t-shirt.
he's got one better than me, I think. I know he's got a t-shirt. I thought he had something better than me.
I don't know.
Oh no, it was your sweatshirt. You've got a Garage 33.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, it's good. You got your own promotional material before you've even got a show.
That was all the buzz. Everyone, what's Garage 33? It was, sorry, Garage.
Garage. Well, that's guys playing football with. He says, "What's Garage 33?" Could be anything you want it to be, right? It's a new clothing line. How do you think they start? It's just promotion.
Yeah, I'll be right up there with Nike soon. Or is it Nike or Nike?
For me, it's Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I think Nike was the name of the god. You know, it was a god, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
Right beside Zeus.
Yeah, it's in there. I don't know if it was Greek or Roman, but I think he was a Greek god. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I expect to be on this a lot more.
Yeah, I'm expecting to have you on all the way through the Euros, so we can.
Oh yeah, actually that'll be good. Yeah, that will be good.
So we can slowly make fun of the other countries
When they fall, as they fall. Absolutely. Yeah. No, looking forward to it. Good
right.
start. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, everybody. Until next time.